When the female Ben Shapiro puts a target on your back, there is nowhere to run and hide. Brett Cooper is the newest it girl at the conservative Daily Wire. Love her or hate her, she's the Gen Z star for spilling the tea on a channel that was boring and lifeless, and this time she has come after her fellow Snow White, Rachel Zegler, who isn't exactly winning the popularity contest in the high school that Hollywood is. Well, Brett Cooper might have won the prom queen with her latest popular video on YouTube. Let's break the tale of the two Snow Whites real quick. So first things first. People love is officially dead. Why is Rachel Zegler being dragged on the internet?
She's not going to be safe with the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can.
Well, newsflash, people love is officially dead. Sounds a bit whack, right? This is why the newest Snow White for Disney has lost the people's favorite vote dramatically. The drama starts with a viral clip of Zegler's interview where she talks about giving a modern edge to Disney's Snow White by not introducing a male love interest in the movie. That's right, the super mega heartthrob prince, Florian, won't be making any appearance in the film whatsoever, so if you were hoping to relive a they lived happily ever after moment while watching the movie, you might want to make some alternative plans. Fans were already upset that Disney had made massive changes to the original Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs that was released in 1937, but that anger was only limited to the visual of the movie. A Latina character was cast for a racially white-skinned Snow White, and the new adaptation didn't have any singular titular frame on the dwarfs. The backlash became such a moment on the internet that people were calling for a Disney is over party. Ultimately, the franchise had to change the movie's name to Snow White solely because there's only one actual dwarf in the movie. Yep, Brett Cooper wasn't the only person to notice that weird out-of-touch detail. Her stans rallied behind her instantly because Disney was selling a movie that was completely opposite to its title, but oh boy, that was the least of Brett Cooper's worries. What really set her off was Rachel's comment on how women do not need to find love. It's 2023 after all and not 1937, so another newsflash, besties. Snow White isn't getting saved by a prince. Rachel Zegler versus Brett Cooper anymore because, according to Zegler, he's just a creepy man, and the last thing she would want to do in her movies was to be dependent on a prince who was madly in love with her character.
The original cartoon came out in 1937, and a very epic there's a big focus on her love story with the guy who literally stalks her. Weird.
In the upcoming movie, Snow White will follow the advice given by her late father, and instead of tying the knot with Prince Florian, she will forge her own destiny. You'd think Rachel wouldn't add fuel to the fire that was already galvanizing online and beyond. Nope, the actress went ahead and blasted an entire tank of gasoline by labeling Prince Florian a creepy stalker who gets obsessed with the ethereal beauty of Snow White. So by removing his character altogether, they're doing a public service for women, and now that's a classic recipe for getting cancelled on at least on one side of the internet. Yikes. And of course Brett Cooper wasn't having any of it. She came for Zegler for assuming that every woman is tired of the idea of love and that they don't want to build life with men anymore because that was just a trend and we're so over it. Apparently not, though. The way Brett Cooper responds to Zegler instantly made her popular in the comment section.
Launching my campaign.
I am. Why do they look so smug? They both have that look on their face, just like the feminists, like, yeah, we're so much better than you.
And she can still come home to a man, or maybe she can get married to Prince Florian like she does in the original, and that technically shouldn't impact her capacity to become a leader, but nope. Zegler believes that love and leadership can't coexist, and Cooper could have pulled out some receipts. There's no doubt that Brett is the queen diva of the Daily Wire. She holds multiple degrees, was a successful child actor, got her own show on a big channel, and then she finally got a ring on her finger as well. Fans were quick to point out how Zegler's generalization is gross because hey, women can do it all, from girl bossing to romancing. Both Zegler and Gal Gadot, who plays the evil queen, have done a bunch of interviews about making the movie relevant again, and well, those words didn't go well with the internet community at all. Maybe Rachel Zegler is just in her fumbling SL flop era, but she isn't leaving any single opportunity to not get devoured by hate parties on Twitter. People are complaining that the cast of the movie clearly misunderstood the assignment, as they can't understand that fairy tales are timeless. So this is when Brett Cooper decided to wear her superhero cape and just save her fans from the misery of watching an iteration of Snow White that isn't actually Snow White. The Daily Wire versus Snow White, Watch out, people, because there are 2 Snow Whites in the town, and both have reportedly decided that either of them has to be exiled. Yep, the drama got far more twisted than you could have ever imagined. The Daily Wire pulled off an ultimate Chad move that no one saw coming. Rachel Zegler must have stumbled real hard when she heard about it. You see, the Daily Wire is making their own version of a live-action version of the movie Snow White and the Evil Queen, and guess who's playing the princess in the much-hyped version of the film? B to the R, Brett Cooper herself. Believe it or not, Cooper's version of the film is rumored to give Disney major competition, while the Daily Wire's movie will only be available on BentKey, their platform for children's media. There's a possibility that it'll go for a countrywide release, and if Rachel Zegler wasn't scared about the future of her showbiz popularity, she needs to watch out now. As soon as the Daily Wire dropped the trailer of its movie, fans couldn't help but swoon. Brett is actually quite decent in her acting role, but what made fans excited was that the story of Snow White felt like the timeless piece they grew up reading or watching, unlike Disney. The Daily Wire is not calling the dwarfs some normie magical creatures. Zegler's movie doesn't feature dwarfs at all, as a means to end stereotypes about dwarfism sounds like a cool initiative. Until you realize that the company is essentially taking away jobs from dwarfed actors, and people just seem to appreciate Cooper for sticking to her very shaky ground, but of course it wouldn't be the internet if it wasn't divided or organizing major canceling parties. The fans of the Disney remake came for Brett Cooper for hunting on Rachel's career and starting a propaganda bandwagon, but nothing compares to the anger of Rachel Zegler, who is furious after watching Cooper's highly anticipated trailer. It's not easy to see why the trailer for Snow White and the Evil Witch has more than 4 million views. The Daily Wire doesn't have an insane budget for marketing like Disney does, so Phyllis is a small good Samaritan winning the slingshot fight against the big bad guy. We're going to go with a hard yes. Brett Cooper might have girl-bossed her acting gig way too hard because Disney was forced to delay the release of their very controversial movie. Yep, a small conservative YouTube platform took a clear shot at a major corporation and earned that big W. You know Zegler's movie was supposed to hit the theaters in 2024, but the controversy around the movie has pushed its release date to 2025, and you know where there's smoke, there's fire. The deets say that Disney might have taken the decision to avoid the Snow White vs. Snow White saga on the internet. That might be a smart financial move because Brett Cooper seems to be winning the Clash of the Titans so far. People are happy that Snow White is back in its glory, and of course Zegler's dream role has taken a hit. Sources told the news outlet that Rachel was mad after watching the Daily Wire trailer and thought hers was way better. Well, who are we to judge? The final vote happens to lie with the OG fans of Snow White, who have joined the hash. Team Cooper no wonder Zegler is having none of it, plus, the cash seems to be a bit loose on Disney's side. The company would need to make more than $340 million to start to break even for the movie, and since the movie is under production right now, the cost might even increase. That's not a cute look when there are massive calls from fans to boycott Disney altogether. In the past, the media company had tampered with the beloved classics. Too many fans are just happy that someone is finally standing up to Disney's tyranny over fairy tales. So are you Team Zegler or Team Cooper? Let us know in the comments below.